my children ought to know when and where important events happen. Teach them the facts.
In my opinion, make them strong and healthy.
My kid ought to do better than me.
Why, they ought to be taught to read and write good English.
You've spent your entire school life learning reading, writing, science, math, history, and through it all you've been asking yourself one question. Am I really going to use all this stuff after I graduate? The truth? Yes, you will. However, the details of when and how you use these skills are a little more complicated. That's where the Workforce Readiness Training class comes in. This is real-world application of the stuff you spent so much time learning. I'm talking job shadowing, hands-on experience, and practical advice from people who are out there in the workforce every day and know what they're talking about. Here are some now.
Workforce Readiness Training class gives a student a view into what the workplace is like.
Business went to the educators and said, you know, we'd like to work with you and develop a program where we can inform high school seniors what it is that goes on in the workplaces that they could very likely find themselves working in just around the corner.
It teaches them that there are really good jobs out there and available that you don't have to go to college for in order to attain.
It allows these kids who are enrolled in the course to actually see what happens inside the industry here in Greene County. We all drive by the buildings, but until you've gone in and you've seen what happens inside, you can't prepare yourself for a career in that area. I think it allows them that connection between high school and the industry.
What I've noticed about high school students, if you put them in the class and they see no relevancy, sometimes they lose interest. But in this class, they realize if they go in there and do a good job, that they have a good chance at the end of it to get a job.
When we talked about doing this, we talked about meeting with students who had maybe indicated in some way that college was not necessarily on their radar right now. It wasn't something that they were looking at doing. So we talked about preparing them for the workforce straight out of high school. But you know, I think that every student, even those that are going to college, should go through this program because it is an eye-opener for a lot of students. It's their first real shot at seeing what the real world is like.
So we've established that the Workforce Readiness Training class gets you ready for, well, the workforce. And one of the most basic things you'll need to get into the workforce is
in the past, they used to say just have a well-rounded resume to be used for any position, but now they're saying to target it towards the position you're applying for. You list the skills and qualifications that apply to the position.
A resume is basically your sales pitch. You're selling yourself to someone.
You list your work history, but don't go in depth about what you did.
You don't have to tell it in a long story form. Be brief, but tell it.
You list your education, and list any notable accomplishments that would indicate value to the employer of what you've done versus what you're applying for.
You're selling yourself to an employer.
Have you been on committees? Have you received awards for various things?
You're selling yourself.
All of those are indications of who you are.
Because that is really what you're trying to do through a resume, is to get the attention of an employer so that they'll be interested in interviewing you for that job that's coming up.
The Workforce Readiness Training class will teach you how to get a great resume together. But there's another side to job hunting, and it requires skills of a different sort. What is it?
Networking is very important, not just to create an opportunity to possibly get a position or a job, but also when people get together and they network, they're able to create, work together, and support each other to make great things happen.
Networking is simply relationship building.
Networking is very important. I think it's necessary for you to go out and meet people that possibly have the same goal that you have in life. They may have already achieved that goal. They have gone through the things that you will be going through in order to achieve it.
You can learn from others' experiences, sometimes mistakes they may have made or successes they may have had.
You have to build relationships with people to be effective. You can't just expect that people will do for you out of obligation.
Without networking, I would say that no one has ever achieved success. No one's ever achieved success by themselves.
There's making money, and then there's making a living. The Workforce Readiness Training class will not only teach you how to get a job, it will teach you what to do once you actually get one. You'll learn how to handle a bank account, how to manage your credit, the ins and outs of insurance, and even investing. It's that weird category known far and wide as
Learning how to manage finances at an early age sets the tone for later in life.
When you come into the workforce, your personal issues or those personal obligations that you have to take care of, such as finance and those kinds of things, are just expected to be handled.
Checking accounts, for example, are a good way to keep you on task, help you know how much money you're making, how much you're spending. And when it comes to credit cards, they are very valuable if they're used the right way.
The importance of insurance is that it can be expensive, but it's still a lot cheaper than a doctor bill or a hospital bill.
What health insurance does is protects you from a catastrophe and really huge unwanted or unplanned for bills.
Without insurance, a catastrophic illness could totally wipe you out.
As soon as you can start investing, the better off that you will be. Statistics show that those who wait till later in life to start investing oftentimes aren't able to hit the retirement financial expectation that they would like to have.
You can't spend more than you have, or if you can, we'd certainly like to know how you do that.
Look, the reality is, it's tough out there, and it's getting more competitive every day. You're going to need all the advantages you can get in order to make a life for yourself.
I think most graduating seniors are just ready to get out of school. They don't really think about the repercussions of what they're doing now in terms of what's going to happen to them in the future. They don't think about how their grades are going to affect the potential jobs that they may have if they choose to go to college or to the workforce, either one. They also don't really worry about putting money into investments or saving money up because they're just thinking about the here and now.
What's great about the Workforce Readiness Training class is that it builds on what you already know, giving you skills and experience to use right away in making your future. Sure, you'll get the big stuff like resumes and job hunting, but how many classes also teach you how to balance a checkbook and how to manage your credit? Plus, a lot of local companies will bump you to the top of their hiring list because they know you're going to be walking in the door with the kind of job savvy they're looking for.
This class basically gives you a leg up to other people that are going to be looking at taking the same jobs that you're taking. You're going to have the information that you need to be more prepared and better qualified for the job than people who are just coming into the workforce that have no clue about the skills and qualities that you're looking for. Seniors should always be forward thinking, or for that matter, anybody should be forward thinking. So constantly thinking about what the world around you is going to look like in the future and making sure that you're making the correct decisions and taking the right steps, being fully aware of the circumstances and the repercussions of what could happen in every situation. That way you're always knowing exactly what it is that you're going to be looking for, and that way you're preparing for your family and for yourself in the future.
For more information or to enroll in Workforce Readiness Training, contact your school guidance counselor.